devi dire che cosa devo fare.
Acceso, vedete il microfono. Ja, hej Lars, det er Anders. Jeg stiller spørgsmålene på dansk og oversætter så også fra italiensk bagefter.
Altså, det vil sige, at du stiller spørgsmålet på dansk til mig, og så svarer jeg på hvad?
Så hvis du kan svare på engelsk, vil det være det...
Ja, det skal jeg prøve.
Vil det være det bedste?
Ja, fint.
Godt. Og Dogme fremtræder som en form for filmisk fundamentalisme. Hvorfor opstille 10 regler, og hvorfor sætte grænser?
Ja, jeg skal lige spørge på dansk. Dogme er en form for fundamentalisme, og hvorfor er reglerne sat op? Er det spørgsmålet går ud på?
Ja.
Det var da... What a fantastic question. Thank you very much. I really hope I can answer because of this advanced technology. It's a little difficult. Maybe I could say that Dogma is all about avoiding this, what we're just witnessing right now.
Synes du, Dogma har levet op til formålet?
Well, if the purpose was to get away from stupid technique like this one, I think we have achieved it. What technology does is that it creates a border, which is very difficult right now for me to handle, and also for an actor.
I manifestet er der en regel, der forbyder genrefilm. Men du har bevæget dig direkte fra Idioterne til Dancer in the Dark, som er en musical. Har du et tvetydigt forhold til genrefilm, og hvad er der i vejen med genrefilm?
Well, many of these dogma rules are actually rules that I have written for myself, and I am a man who likes the genre movies very much, and typically I would do some, or anyway my way of doing them. So this was a way to get around it, but I'm not sure we have succeeded. But I like the genres. Yes, absolutely. They are the ancestors.
Med den teknologiske udvikling, som du talte om før, følger der en demokratisering, som bliver nævnt i manifestet. På den anden side optræder der ord i manifestet som dogme og militær og avantgarde og disciplin og uniform. Bliver demokratiseringen modsvaret af fascistiske elementer, om man så må sige?
Well, manifestos are something I write. It's not something I read. So I must say it's some time ago. I'm not really familiar with the text. I think the military symbol was quite good in this content because it shows, what shall we say, quite more serious and violent move. I think that what the Dogma movement is up against is much more violent than our little tiny what should we say, revolution or whatever we tried. So this is kind of a little Danish army, which compared to the big army of the world is not really a match. So I think, fascistic, no, I wouldn't call it that, but hopefully powerful.
Vil du fortælle, hvilke kræfter I er op imod?
Yeah, well, the powers we are against is, of course, the American film tradition mostly, and also this enormous, what shall we say, technological press or pressure. That means that there's so much money behind these inventions, so that we have to be a little tough in the language we use to get anywhere. Otherwise, we're not tough at all.
Hvilke kriterier bruger du til at udvælge skuespillere på? Holder du dig fuldstændig til din forudfattede opfattelse af, hvilken skuespiller, hvilken rolle det er? Eller lader du også inspirere af de personer, du har mulighed for at vælge som skuespillere?
Well, for the last 2 films I've done, I have tried not to write too much of the script before I know which actors I'm going to use. And that means, of course, that the actors have hopefully a big influence on the film. But of course I have to start with some characters that I need, and well, how I find them, I'm not really sure. I've found some very strange people lately. I can say the most important thing for an actor is that they want to do the film, which is not obvious. I worked with a lot of actors that didn't want to do the film they found out. I would say that 10% of the actors I've worked with want to do the film. So it's a matter of finding a language. You have to have a language with the actor. Then you have to be sure of what film you want to do in common. And if this works, that will be the 10% I'm talking about. First a language, and then a common goal. And then we'll go together, and and things will come from both sides, absolutely.
Spørgsmålet går ud på, at du har udtalt dig negativt om den teknologiske udvikling på det her. Men samtidig har personen i scenen set et interview med dig, hvor du har udtalt dig meget entusiastisk om den teknologiske udvikling, og du har jo selv inddraget video i din nye film. Så hvordan forholder du dig til den teknologiske udvikling?
I can only say that any technology that brings us closer to life and the world is good technology. Any technology that does the opposite is bad technology. I would say that this that the fact that now you can buy a video camera very cheap is something that brings us closer to the world and closer to life. That's fantastic. It's a gift.
Vi tager et spørgsmål fra scenen igen. Spørgsmålet går ud på, hvad dit forhold til tro er. Og det har sit afsæt i Refn Waves, hvor så vidt spørgeren kan se, du kritiserer den danske kirke.
Well, as you get older, you know less and less. I'm not very fond of a bunch of believers that doesn't believe. But I think that true religion comes from some kind of belief in man. I just had this idea the other day that if every religion or the text of every religion started with a phrase, "There are other gods," they would be more religious to me.
Spørgsmålet går ud på, om det punkt er der som historisk begrundet, eller om det er for at genkalde historien, eller om det er der af æstetiske grunde for at skabe ligevægt i et billede. Der har været en historisk bevægelse fra det kvadratisk mod det mere og mere ekspanderede horisontale. Men er begrundet historisk eller æstetisk?
Well, the reason for this this rule is mostly that this format, Academy, is not really square, but it is almost square. It's like limited television format. It's very difficult to frame in, right? It's the most difficult format to make nice pictures, and I think that's good. I think that nice is also taking away life.
Spørgsmålet går ud på det bud, der er om, at optagelsen skal foregå udenfor. Hvordan forholder man sig til indendørs optagelser? Og så er der anden del af spørgsmålet, der handler om interaktivitet. De eksperimenter, der har været hidtil med interaktivitet, har vist, at der sådan set er behov for meget mere teknologi til at gøre interaktivitet muligt. Så hvordan forholder du dig til teknologi og interaktivitet?
About interactivity, I'm not very concerned about this. It's not for any specific reason. I just was never very excited. I think that interactivity at the best you get in real life, if you're lucky.
Spørgsmålet går ud på, hvilken betydning har italiensk film for dig i din personlige filmiske kultur? Og i forhold til manifestet, er der nogle punkter, der er inspireret af italiensk film?
Well, of course, this whole Dogma thing is, of course, inspired by the neorealism, as anybody can see, and the new French wave that came from that also. I am a great lover of, the classical Italian film. I have been watching Antonioni, for instance, which is not so classical, but still, he's a darling of mine, of course. And you have them all. Visconti, I'm very humble towards these things. I can't teach Italy anything, and I'm not trying.
Hvorfor foretrækker du digital optagelse frem for 35 mm optagelse?
Well, what I learned from this Dogma experience was to use video, which in my opinion is not according to the rules. But at that time I was voted against by the other brothers. The fantastic thing about video is that you can make shots of 1 hour, scenes of 1 hour. And this technique I have used quite a lot to shoot a scene for 1 hour that would in the film be 2 minutes. It's just an interesting way to go about it.
Spørgsmålet går ud på, om Dogme var tænkt som en form for mærke, som skulle gøre Dogme-filmene genkendelige, når man læste om dem. Og anden del af spørgsmålet, om i begyndelsen havde regnet med, at Dogme skulle blive sådan en succes, som det har været.
Well, this thing about what shall we say, the military thing about Dogma, this uniform that we wanted to put on the films, has to do with what we talked about before. That if you have to struggle a big enemy, then you have to be very efficient, and that we was by our uniform. I'm always very fond of films I haven't yet made. I remember calling Thomas Vinterberg and saying, would you start a new wave with me? And he said yes. But I must also say that since it has been a success, I don't know, but something that has been talked about quite a lot. You feel a little humble. It's easier to be, provocative when you don't know that people will follow you.
Spørgsmålet er, om du efterhånden fortryder at have skrevet Dogme.
Well, I will say this, that some of the people who have been making Dogma films have been very keen to say that Dogma is dead. And I must say that the one that should decide if Dogma is dead are the ones that have not yet made a Dogma film. I see the whole Dogma thing as being some kind of little pill, little Valium, that you can take if you have lost the joy or the motivation for producing films. So I think that the people that should decide if it's worth anything, this little pill, are the ones who still have to take it or should use it anyway. I must say the thing about Dogma that I'm most proud of is that now there are people in, what shall we say, less fortunate countries that suddenly believe that they can make films. This is a big thing for me.
Vil du slutte af med at fortælle om Dogmes fremtid og eventuelt om, hvad der er blevet udvalgt af nye Dogme-instruktører og hvordan den udvalgelse foregår?
About the future, I have no idea. But I can say that we have changed the procedure. We started off by letting these 4 Danish Dogma brothers decide if what we saw was a Dogma film or not. And now we have changed it to let the director of the film be the judge of if the rules are followed. We are actually moving from Catholicism to Protestantism in this field. We found out that it was too difficult to be nearer God than the normal people. So we are not priests anymore, and that feels damn good.
Der kommer græsballer herfra, men vi vil gerne sige tusind tak herfra, og så vil jeg sige, at vi er 170 mennesker, som har siddet her i salen, og som har været meget, meget glade for at følge svar på spørgsmål, og direktøren for Cinemateket takker det også, og siger derudover, at italienerne i de sidste flere måneder har været meget glade for at have mulighed for at se en film. Så vi vil gerne sige tusind tak for...
Ja, men i lige måde, det siger du til dem, ikke?
Op for det her.
Ja. I lige måde.
Jeg siger det i lige måde til. Altrettanto dice a voi. Allora, ringraziamo.
Okay, we start.